Seduce my daughter. Once the job is done, I'll wire you another 500 grand. Arthur Sterling, the richest man in Chicago, flicked a check onto the mahogany desk. It slid toward me like an insult. He looked at me the way one looks at a rat in a subway tunnel. In his eyes, I was trash, a mercenary willing to do anything for a buck, a disposable rag to be used and discarded. For a cool million, I was willing to trample my dignity into the dirt and go after the heiress known citywide as a hopeless romantic. Who knew that when I pushed open the heavy doors of high society, that delicate little white flower would lock the door behind me, blocking my exit with a marriage license and a no-limit black card. Dad's offer is too low. I'll give you 20 million. Her red lips curved into a smile, her eyes filled with a terrifying, possessive hunger. Now that you're here, don't even think about leaving, my little liar. So, in this deal, did the hunter get paid, or did the prey win? I have a nickname in the industry, the Phantom Hand. I specialize in helping the wealthy resolve unsavory emotional disputes. I don't provide marriage counseling. I provide marriage dissolution. You could call me a professional homewrecker or a certified scumbag detector. As long as the money is right, there isn't a couple I can't split up. Right now, I was sitting on the top floor of the Sterling Financial Tower in downtown Chicago. Sitting opposite me was the city's titan of industry, Arthur Sterling. He took a sip of his Macallan 25, his gaze dismissive. 500,000. A flimsy piece of paper slid in front of me. Retainer. I glanced at the zeros. Tempting, but I didn't reach for it immediately. Mr. Sterling, there are rules in this trade. I don't take jobs I can't finish. I leaned back into the leather sofa, my tone lazy. Your daughter, Victoria Sterling, is famous in the social circuit for being love-blind. She's determined to marry that mooch, Braden Holt. Rumor has it she even went on a hunger strike for him. A target that devoted is hard to crack. The price goes up. Sterling let out a cold laugh. Caleb, don't play games with me. I know your background. For money, you'd do anything. Just make Vicky see Braden's true colors, or make her fall for you and dump that loser. After it's done, I'll give you another 500,000. 1 million total. In this economy, that was enough for a guy like me, who crawled out of the gutter to wash his hands clean and retire. I didn't hesitate anymore. My movements were fluid as I picked up the check and shoved it into my pocket. Generous offer, boss. Stay healthy, boss. Sterling waved his hand in disgust. Get out, and don't let Vicky know I hired you. Don't worry, I have professional ethics. I stood up, straightening the knockoff designer suit I bought on a discount app. Mr. Sterling, wait for my good news. Walking out of the skyscraper, the wind off Lake Michigan hit me hard. I touched the check in my pocket. It felt hot, but it smelled sweet. I don't have many virtues, but self-awareness is one of them. I'm a scumbag, but I'm a rich scumbag. Now, it was time to meet the legendary love-blind heiress, and the gold digger who had her spellbound, Braden Holt. I hoped the guy had a thick skin. After all, I was coming for his meal ticket. To get close to Victoria, I spent 3 days doing recon. Victoria Sterling, 22, fresh out of college. Sweet appearance, personality reportedly soft and easily bullied. A typical greenhouse flower. Braden Holt, her college classmate. A classic climber, relying on a smooth tongue and so-called talent to keep Victoria under his thumb. I've seen this setup 100 times. It's just emotional manipulation 101, exploiting a girl's savior, complex, and guilt. To break the game, I had to be more manipulative, more saintly, and more shameless than him. I staked out the art gallery Victoria frequented for 2 days. Finally, the opportunity arrived. A thunderstorm hit the city. Braden drove off in the Porsche Victoria had bought him, leaving her stranded alone at the gallery entrance. Word was they had argued, and Braden was giving her the cold shoulder to establish dominance. Idiot. This was the perfect moment for an infiltration. I held a black umbrella, wearing a carefully curated white dress shirt, and walked up to Victoria. I tilted the umbrella, covering most of her, letting the rain soak my shoulder instantly. Miss, waiting for someone? My voice was low, laced with just the right amount of gentleness. Victoria looked up. It was an exquisitely refined face, tear tracks at the corners of her eyes. She didn't look messy. She looked tragically beautiful. She looked at me, a moment of confusion in her eyes. You are just a passerby. I smiled, handing her the spare umbrella I was holding. I saw you standing here for half an hour. A girl this beautiful shouldn't be getting wet. It breaks the heart. Take this. My car is right over there. I didn't give her a chance to refuse, shoving the umbrella into her hand. Then I turned and sprinted into the rain, hopping onto a divvy bike. That's right, a rental bike. Driving a luxury car to pick up a girl is too cliché. For a rich second-generation kid like Victoria, who grew up around Ferraris, humble sincerity is the ultimate weapon. I pedaled away, looking pathetic in the rain. But I knew she was watching me, and I knew this move was checkmate. Buzz. My phone vibrated. I hadn't just left an umbrella. I taped a QR code to the handle with a note. Umbrella fee $5. Don't forget to Venmo me. This was the hook. Not asking for money looks fake. Asking for a tiny amount makes you seem real and cute. Friend request accepted. Her profile picture was a ragdoll cat. Victoria, thanks for the umbrella. Sent the money. Did you get wet? I looked at the screen, a smirk curling my lips. The fish had bitten the hook. Braden, oh Braden, your glory days are over. For 3 days after adding her on WeChat, I didn't send a single message. This is also part of the strategy. Playing hard to get. For a girl like Victoria, used to being manipulated by Braden, excessive enthusiasm would make her wary. Appropriate silence makes her curious. On the night of the 4th day, I posted a story. A photo of a cheap bowl of chow mein from a street stall, captioned, caught a cold from the rain, but this bowl of noodles is enough to comfort the soul. Visible only to her. 3 minutes later, Victoria liked it. 5 minutes later, she messaged, you caught a cold? Was it because you gave me the umbrella that day? I replied instantly, it's nothing, just the sniffles. I just couldn't bear to see you crying so hard that day. After all, a girl's tears are pearls. They shouldn't fall on the ground. This cheesy line works every time on shelter girls. Victoria was silent for a moment. Thank you. Actually, my boyfriend left me there that day. I was really sad. He always says I'm too spoiled, that I don't understand his stress. Here we go. Complaining about the boyfriend. The beginning of the end. I started my performance. Oh, you have a boyfriend? Sorry, I didn't know. I shouldn't be talking to you then. It wouldn't be good if he misunderstood. Though, if it were me, I absolutely wouldn't let my girlfriend wait in the rain for so long. But I'm just an outsider. I have no right to judge. Go make up with him. Don't let him stay angry. This combo is called retreat to advance. Show boundaries, subtly trash Braden, then act mature and push her away. No woman can resist this contrast. Sure enough, Victoria panicked. I don't blame you. He was being too much, and you're much better than him. You didn't even have money for a cab, but you gave me the umbrella. Your name is Caleb, right? I want to treat you to dinner to thank you. I looked at the screen and sneered. Braden, that moron, had a winning hand and played it like a fool. A heiress of Victoria's level is meant to be pampered, not neglected. No need for dinner. A poor guy like me can't afford high-end restaurants. I'd just embarrass you. If you really want to thank me, just walk with me by the river for a bit. Saves money, too. Victoria replied instantly. Okay. I put down the phone and looked at myself in the mirror. Deep eyes, smiling lips. A total nice guy. A total fraud. 500 grand was waving at me. But I had a vague feeling. Things were going a little too smoothly. Victoria's reaction was too perfect. Almost like she was waiting for me to hit on her. But I didn't dwell on it. After all, I'm a professional. In this world, there is no couple I can't break up. Unless it was a trap. We met at the Riverwalk. 8 p.m., the night breeze was cool. Victoria wore a white dress, hair down, looking as innocent as a high school student. But I could tell at a glance the dress was couture, and the seemingly simple red string on her wrist held a charm worth 6 figures. This is how the rich do low profile. Caleb, she saw me, waving with a smile, and trotted over. No airs, even a little. Excited? Wait long. She stood in front of me, slightly out of breath, eyes sparkling. No, just got here. I handed her a bottle of room-temperature water I'd prepared. $2 water, don't mind it. Victoria took the water, opened it, and took a sip, her eyes curving into crescents. It's very sweet. We walked along the river. I deliberately kept a distance of 1.5 feet, neither intimate nor distant. Where's your boyfriend? Didn't accompany you? I asked, knowing the answer. The smile on Victoria's face faded. Him? He's busy. Says he's building a startup. Took my money to treat his brothers to dinner. She kicked a pebble on the path, her tone lonely. Caleb, tell me, am I stupid? Everyone says he's after my money, but I always feel like he loves me. Opportunity knocked. I stopped, turned around, and looked at her earnestly. My gaze had to be deep, focused. Victoria, in my eyes, you're not stupid. You're just too kind. If I were him, I wouldn't let you pay a dime. It's a man's duty to provide. Even if I had to lay bricks or deliver food, I would give you the best, because you're worth it. I said this with absolute sincerity. In reality, I was thinking, if you give me 500 grand, I would totally go lay bricks. Victoria froze. She looked at me, her eyes slowly reddening. Suddenly, she took a step forward and grabbed my hand. Her hand was cold and soft. Caleb, you're so good. 10,000 times better than Braden. How about you be my boyfriend? I froze too. Isn't this moving a little too fast? I just wanted to be the backup. You want to promote me to starter? If I become a boyfriend, how do I explain this to Arthur Sterling? Victoria, that's not appropriate. We've only known each other a few days. I tried to use the hard-to-get tactic, but Victoria didn't play by the rules. She suddenly stood on her tiptoes, leaning close to my face. Those originally innocent, wide eyes now flickered with a light I couldn't understand. It looked like greed, or perhaps the excitement of a predator spotting prey. Caleb, she whispered in my ear, stop acting. I know who you are, and I know my dad hired you. A chill shot down my spine, cold sweat instantly forming. I'd been made. Career suicide? I was just about to step back and explain it was all a misunderstanding when Victoria gripped my hand tighter. Her strength was shocking. Nothing like a fragile little flower. The corner of her mouth curled into a sickly smile, her voice so sugary it made my skin crawl. But I don't care. I got bored of that waste of space Braden ages ago. I was just wondering how to dump him. Since you delivered yourself to my doorstep, handsome, smooth talker. She extended a finger, tracing it lightly over my Adam's apple. I'll accept the offering. 500 grand, right? I'll give you 20 million. From today on, you're mine. You're only allowed to be nice to me. You're only allowed to lie to me. Do you understand? My little liar. In that moment, looking at this angel smiling like a demon, I had only one thought. I am screwed. This wasn't a love-blind innocent. This was a max-level psycho boss. Arthur Sterling, you set me up. I was stunned by Victoria's reverse Uno card. Usually, I'm the one setting traps. Today, the hunter became the hunted. But I'm a pro. My first reaction wasn't to agree, but to run. This woman's eyes were wrong. That wasn't the look one gives a boyfriend. It was the look one gives private property, filled with suffocating paranoia. I tried to pull my hand back. Miss Sterling, funny joke. I have professional ethics. Since I took your dad's money, I follow the rules. I'll return the money to Mr. Sterling. Let's pretend we never met. I turned a bolt. Before I took 2 steps, my phone buzzed. Not a text. A bank notification. Deposit received. $5,000,000,000 USD. I looked at the string of zeros, my feet suddenly glued to the pavement. Then, Victoria's voice floated ghost-like from behind me. Caleb Cole, male, 26. Lives in a studio in the South Side. Has a gambling addict uncle. You have a good reputation in the industry, but if I tell my dad you took his money, betrayed him immediately, and tried to sleep with his daughter. She paused, laughing clearly. Do you think you'll ever work in this city again? I froze. This wasn't a flower. This was a Venus flytrap. She had dug up my entire history. I took a deep breath, turned around, and plastered on my standard professional fake smile. Boss, what are you saying? Professional ethics? In the face of absolute wealth, that's garbage. From now on, I'm your man. Victoria walked over satisfied. She reached out and fixed my slightly messy collar, her movements gentle as a devoted wife. Good boy, you took the money. Now do the job beautifully. Tomorrow night, Braden is hosting a party at the Peninsula Hotel, pretending to be a big shot with my supplementary credit card. I want you to accompany me. I raised an eyebrow. To do what? Cause a scene? Victoria shook her head, a trace of mockery in her eyes. No, to let him know he's been fired. And you are the new favorite. The Peninsula Hotel, Chicago's playground for the rich. Braden, that son of a bitch, really knew how to spend. He'd booked a luxury suite, inviting a pack of freeloading friends. When we pushed the door open, the room was thick with smoke. Braden was standing on a table, champagne in hand, face flushed, bragging loudly. Let me tell you, Victoria, that dumb broad, is totally obsessed with me. If I say jump, she asks how high. My startup capital? Just pocket money she gave me. Once we get married, the Sterling fortune will be all mine. The crowd below cheered, boosting his ego. I stood at the door, glancing at Victoria beside me. She was expressionless, maybe even amused, like watching a clown perform. Let's go in. She took my arm. I straightened my back, engaging my top-tier acting skills. 3 parts indifference, 4 parts superiority, and 3 parts utter disdain for Braden. The door swung open. The room went silent. Braden saw Victoria, his face lighting up with joy, about to jump down. Vicky, you say. He stopped mid-sentence, seeing me holding Victoria's arm, and our bodies pressed tightly together. Braden's face turned green instantly. Who is he? He pointed at me, fingers trembling. I ignored him, lowering my head to gently fix a stray lock of Victoria's hair. Vicky, it's too smoky in here. Bad for your skin. Shall we go somewhere else? My voice was so syrupy, I gave myself goosebumps. Victoria played along perfectly. She leaned on my shoulder, not even glancing at Braden. Whatever you say, it is too noisy here. Braden exploded. He rushed over, trying to grab Victoria's hand. Victoria, what is this? You bring a pretty boy here to humiliate me. I stepped forward, blocking him. I subtly checked his hand away with my shoulder, wearing an innocent and apologetic smile. Sir, please have some dignity. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Vicky's new personal assistant, but the full-service kind. Braden, I canceled your supplementary card. You're paying for this meal yourself. All right. Heard your portion needs service? Don't bother. I had it towed. Braden stood frozen, face pale as a sheet. His freeloading friends instantly changed their tunes, looking at him with disdain. I watched Braden, looking like a stray dog, feeling zero sympathy. If you're going to live off a woman, you need skills. Someone like him, who bites the hand that feeds him, deserves to starve. Let's go, Caleb. Victoria took my hand, turning to leave, leaving behind Braden's hysterical screaming and the sound of smashing bottles. Walking out of the hotel, I let out a breath. Boss, how was the performance? Victoria stopped, turned, and stared dead at me. Under the streetlights, her expression was unreadable. Performance? She asked softly. Caleb, who told you that was acting? She suddenly leaned in, planting a kiss on the corner of my mouth. Cold, but smelling of gunpowder. You're mine. That was the official stamp. Although Braden was out, I still needed to give Arthur Sterling an explanation. The old fox wanted hard proof, evidence of Braden's moral bankruptcy. Only then could he destroy Braden without his daughter hating him. Even though the daughter had already gone to the dark side, we still had to follow protocol. I called my old partner, Lexi, a professional actress with Oscar-worthy skills, specializing in wealthy cougar fishing schemes. The script was simple. Braden was now cut off, carless, desperate. At this moment, a lonely rich woman driving a Ferrari appears. He'd bite immediately. In the surveillance room, I watched the screen. Braden was eagerly pouring wine for Lexi, his fawning expression even more disgusting than when he sucked up to Victoria. Lexi just hinted she was recently divorced and looking for someone caring. Braden immediately started his sob story. Actually, my ex-girlfriend was a psycho. Controlling, cheap, didn't know how to treat a man. I wanted to dump her ages ago. If it weren't for her family having a little money. Baby, meeting you. I finally know what a real woman is. I wore headphones, shaking my head. This guy was hopeless. If this recording got out, Sterling would skin him alive. Suddenly, a hand rested on my shoulder. I spun around, startled. Victoria had entered silently, holding a glass of red wine, watching the screen with interest. TSK. Dirty mouth. She swirled her wine, no anger on her face. Instead, there was a excitement of watching a show. Boss, is this enough evidence? I took off the headphones. Enough. Victoria sipped her wine, lips blood red. But just a recording is boring. Since he loves rich women so much, let him pay a price. She put down the glass, pulled a contract from her Hermes bag, and tossed it on the table. Make him sign this. I picked it up. Loan agreement. Not only was the interest rate astronomical, but there was a collateral clause. The collateral line was blank. Have him put up his corneas as collateral, Victoria said lightly. Since his eyes don't work anyway, he doesn't need them. My hand shook, almost dropping the contract. Miss Sterling, that's illegal. Victoria burst out laughing. She poked my forehead with a manicured finger. I'm couldn't. Look at you, scared stiff. With guts that small, how can you be my dog? Just make him leave his ID and social security card. The legal department will handle the rest. I want him spending the rest of his life paying off debt. She turned to leave, her heels clicking in the empty room. I wiped the cold sweat from my forehead. This woman was truly crazy. Irrational, high IQ, kind of crazy. I suddenly felt a pang of pity for Braden. Of all people, he messed with this demon queen. At the same time, I started worrying about myself. I was riding a tiger now. This money was going to be hard to keep. Braden signed the contract. Greed was his fatal flaw. Lexi told him signing would get him a $200,000 startup fund and a ticket in a high society. He believed it. The moment he signed, I kicked the door open with Victoria. The air in the private room froze. Braden held the pen, grinning like he'd won the lottery. Seeing us, his smile stiffened, slowly turning into terror. Beak. Victoria, why are you here? He frantically tried to hide the contract. I walked over, snatched the paper, and flicked the signature. Mr. Holt, nice handwriting, but you might have missed a detail. The creditor isn't this rich lady. It's the Sterling Group legal department. Lexi stood up, took off her sunglasses, winked at me, and said to Braden, Honey, show's over. Braden was catatonic. He slumped in the chair, looking at me, Then Victoria, finally realizing he'd been played. Victoria, you set me up. He jumped up to rush her. I kicked him back onto the sofa. Victoria walked up to him, heels clicking, looking down like a queen at an ant. Set you up. Braden, you aren't worth the effort it takes to set you up. I just wanted to see how rotten you really were. She pulled a stack of photos from her bag, Braden clubbing with her money and the recording pen. Smack! She threw the stack into his face. Photos fluttered, edges cutting his cheek. Spending my money on women, calling me an idiot behind my back. Braden, did you think I was made of clay? Braden, terrified by her aura, shook violently. Vicky, I was wrong. I was forced. It was Caleb who framed me. He tried to grab her leg. Victoria stepped back in disgust. Caleb, she called my name. Here. I stood at attention. Throw him out. I don't want to see this face in Chicago ever again. Also, notify every company working with Sterling Group. Anyone who hires him is an enemy of the family. This was total annihilation. Industry-wide blacklist. Braden was finished. I grabbed his collar, dragging him like a dead dog to the door. He was screaming, so I dislocated his jaw to shut him up. Peace at last. When I returned, Victoria stood by the window, watching the traffic. A lonely, powerful silhouette. Caleb. The trash is taken out. Now it's just us. She turned slowly. The cold, executive look was gone, replaced by a heat that made my hair stand on end. The look of a predator locking onto a meal. Was my 500 grand worth it? I swallowed, sensing danger. Worth. Definitely worth it. Victoria smiled. She walked toward me, forcing me back until my back hit the cold wall. She slammed her hands on either side of me, trapping me. Since it was worth it, fulfill the next clause of the contract. From now on, you have no escape. If you dare run. She pulled the check Arthur gave me from my pocket, waved it, and tore it to shreds in front of my face. Your ending will be 10 times worse than Braden's. After all, I really do like your eyes. Watching the confetti fall, my heart bled. That was 500 grand. You didn't tear a check, you tore my soul. But looking in her romantic eyes, I squeezed out a smile uglier than crying. Don't worry, boss. I, Caleb Cole, am a sterling man in life and death. As long as the money is right, my life is yours. Braden's issue was resolved quickly. Too quickly. 3 days later, Arthur Sterling met me at the golf course. The old man was in a good mood, having hit a hole-in-one. Caleb, good work. He handed me a check. Here's the remaining balance. Braden is in jail for fraud, and my daughter is back home. You can get lost now. I took the check with both hands, grinning wider than him. Thanks, boss. Generous. I won't disturb your family time. I know my place. The rich family rice bowl is hard to hold, especially with a psycho beauty like Victoria. Taking this money and buying a tropical island sounded safer. I turned to leave, walking briskly. However, reaching the parking lot, a familiar Maybach blocked my path. The window rolled down, revealing Victoria's exquisite, indifferent face. Going somewhere, I waved the check. Mission accomplished. Taking your dad's money and running. Victoria opened the door, marched over, and grabbed my tie, forcing my head down. Running. Caleb, did you forget something? Did I not say you are mine? Just then, Arthur Sterling chased out with bodyguards. Seeing this, his mustache twitched with rage. Vicky, what are you doing? This kid is a thug for hire. You can have any man. Why him? Victoria turned, her eyes colder than her father's. Dad, are you confused? You paid him to seduce me. Now I'm seduced, and you want to chase him away? What? Only you're allowed to buy a hitman, but I'm not allowed to catch feelings. Sterling sputtered. That was to make you see the truth. I saw it. Victoria hooked her arm through mine, leaning her head on my shoulder, smiling sweetly. Out with the old, in with the new. I think Caleb is great. Greedy, lustful, self-aware. And most importantly, she glanced at the check in my hand. He's cheap. Buying a lifetime for $1 million? A bargain. My mouth twitched. Cheap. Lady, I'm a human being, not a discount cabbage. But under the billionaire's murderous gaze, I had to play along. Father-in-law. Shut up. Who's your father-in-law? Sterling roared. Victoria dragged me into the Maybach. Drive, she ordered. Before the window rolled up, she waved at the furious Arthur. Dad, Caleb is staying with me tonight. Don't wait up. I sat on a leather seat, watching the scenery blur. One thought filled my mind. I might have a life to take this money, but not the life to spend it. I was under house arrest. The location, a hilltop mansion owned by Victoria. It was less like arrest and more like being kept as a trophy husband. My phone was confiscated, replaced with one that only dialed Victoria. My clothes were tossed, replaced by a closet of bespoke suits. Even my boxers were silk, handpicked by her. Like it. Victoria sat on the sofa, wine glass in hand, watching me model. I like it, but I pulled at the collar. Boss, I look like a total sugar baby. I'm a professional relationship auditor. Slap. A black centurion card hit the coffee table. No limit. Buy whatever. Start a company. Invest. Just don't leave this house or my sight. Victoria swirled her wine, eyes hazy. You call that being a sugar baby? Caleb, this is called being a full-time boyfriend. Annual salary, 10 million. With benefits. I looked at the black card, throat dry. 10 million. My professional ethics crumbled into dust. Dignity? Freedom? In the face of absolute cash flow, those are myths. I walked over, picked up the card, and knelt on one knee. Like a knight pledging loyalty. Boss, what do you want for dinner? I'll cook. Victoria laughed. She extended a foot, lifting my chin with her toe. You. The following days were paradise. Sleeping in, chef-prepared meals, swimming in the infinity pool. When Victoria came home, I played the perfect partner. Except for the confinement, it was heaven. I started to panic that I'd get used to being a useless trophy, but then I'd check my bank balance and go back to sleep. This soft life was delicious. Until a month later, Victoria didn't come home. No calls, no texts. Late at night, the front door smashed open. Victoria stumbled in, smelling of alcohol and blood. I caught her. What happened? You're hurt. She looked up, eyes terrifyingly red. She gripped my hand, crushing my bones. Caleb. Braden. He escaped. Braden broke out. The news was a bomb. He bribed a guard during a transfer. The blood on Victoria was her driver's. Her car had been rammed. He texted me. She handed me her phone, shaking. Unknown number. Victoria, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. And that pretty boy, I'm going to gut him. I read the text, back cold. He was coming for me? Caleb, go. Victoria pushed me away. It's not safe. I'll have a chopper take you out of the country. You got your money. No need to die with me. I looked at her pale face. This domineering woman was trying to save me. I grabbed her hand. Go. Go where? Boss, did you forget? I'm your property. Property doesn't walk away. I pulled her into a hug. Besides, I took so much of your money. If I run now, that's breach of contract. Victoria froze, then burst into tears, burying her face in my chest. We didn't sleep. The next day, Braden arrived. He drove a stolen truck, smashing through the estate gates. Alarms blared. Bodyguards rushed out. But Braden was strapped with homemade explosives, holding a lighter, screaming like a ghoul. Victoria. Caleb, get out here, or I blow this place to hell. The guards held their fire. Victoria tried to run out. I stopped her. I'll go. I fixed my suit and hair in the mirror. Are you crazy? She screamed. Relax. I winked. I deal with scumbags. I have experience. I walked out, standing on the steps, looking down at Braden. Yo, isn't this Mr. Holt? Looking a little rough there, buddy. Braden's eyes bulged. Caleb, I'll kill you. He charged with the lighter. I didn't move. When he was 6 feet away, I shouted, Braden, look who's behind you. The oldest trick in the book. But in extreme stress, instinct takes over. He looked. In that split second, I lunged. Not a movie kick. A tackle. I slammed him to the ground, pinning his arms. Now, I yelled into my earpiece. Bang. The sniper took the shot. Braden's hand shattered. The lighter flew. Guards swarmed him. Crisis over. I lay on the ground, gasping. Terrified. Victoria ran out, falling to her knees, touching my face. Caleb, are you okay? I looked at her ruined makeup and laughed. I'm good. Suit's dirty, though. Boss, is this workers' comp? Victoria kissed me, tears salty in my mouth. Yes. Anything you want. My life is yours. Braden was gone for good. Jail for life. And me? I failed upwards. Arthur Sterling finally approved of me. A man willing to die for his daughter earned respect, even if he was a mercenary. 3 months later, the wedding of a century. Groom, Caleb Cole. Bride, Victoria Sterling. I stood on the stage in a white bespoke suit. The audience was full of Chicago's elite, plus my ex-girlfriends and former targets. I took the mic, looking at Victoria. She was breathtaking. Ahem. First, thanks to my father-in-law, who initially tried to buy me off with a deposit. The crowd laughed. Arthur glared. Second, thanks to my wife. She taught me that even a scumbag can shine if he's the right kind of scumbag. I looked at her deeply. Victoria, I used to be a breaker of hearts. Now, I'm your guardian. Of course, you still control the bank accounts. But can I apply for a raise in my allowance? Victoria laughed through tears, grabbing her mic. Denied. Your money is mine. You are mine. But, she whispered in my ear, behave, and there's a bonus tonight. Applause erupted. I felt the confetti rain down, feeling grounded. From professional homewrecker to billionaire heir. The road was rocky. But the destination? Sweet. Bonus scene one day after the wedding. My secret stash of $2,000 hidden inside the Art of War in the library vanished. I panicked. That was my blood money. At dinner, I tested the waters. Honey, did you go to the library today? Victoria cut her steak elegantly. I did. Oh, see anything? I did. She put down her knife. Caleb. The getting brave. Hiding money in Sun Tzu. I dropped to my knees, muscle memory. Wifey, I was wrong. Victoria tossed a card on the table. I confiscated the cash. Take this card. There's 100 grand on it. Swipe the card if you need to spend. Don't hide dirty cash. It embarrasses the family. I held the card, tears in my eyes. Wife is generous. Long live the queen. Victoria rolled her eyes, corners of her mouth twitching up. Idiot. Eat. I shoveled food into my mouth. The soft life. It tastes extra sweet today. Story complete.